That makes sense. I guess if just engagement with the open source project itself is one of the more measurable things. I'm curious what you've seen as to be the most impactful things that you've done to foster that. And one of the things you mentioned was like reduce the amount of time it takes to make a contribution. What kinds of things are you seeing that like get in the way of people contributing? Like how have you unblocked people?
Yeah, I think that there's this so-called hello nurse answer. Like the first time you get, if you have a medical condition and go somewhere, and then the first responses are meaningless, it really doesn't count as giving any value. But the first time you get a meaningful response, that's something we want to, that we have started measuring and are reducing. And then as for the blockers, it is like inside the foundation itself, we have a number of developers who, some of them are better at the optimizer, some of them are better at MariaDB, and there would be like areas of specialization. But the code is so deep that there clearly will be areas where we don't know as much as is needed to accept the contribution and even to be properly able to judge it. And then what we have to do there is to find the people which usually are inside the corporation and nudge them and to see whether they think this is an interesting thing or something that needs to be done or not. So this is like going into the details of how we actually do our work with the contributor community. Now then there would be, of course, the user community. And user sounds way more simpler than a contributor, but sometimes it can be highly complicated. And one such case happened last year. One of our biggest users is Wikimedia Foundation. They run like Wikipedia and Wikidata and Wikimedia Commons and all of that run on MariaDB. And they would be upgrading at certain intervals, and we have been chatting with them about when they would upgrade them to which version. And then we got so we don't have like every quarter a specific meeting, or we at least did not have. Then we got a note from their main MariaDB DBA saying that when we were upgrading to 10.6, in the middle of our upgrade process, we got a huge problem because the newer, we had migrated, was it 15 or so they were in the early phase of migrating to MariaDB. They had upgraded 15 of them, and then when they got a denial of service kind of attack, the servers were hanging. And that was hugely complicated to debug, to identify where the bug was. And because it wasn't possible to reproduce it. The bug as such was not reproducible under a normal load, only when they had some level of hacking attack on them. And you are hard pressed to find an organization which is more open than Wikimedia Foundation. But not even they can be open when it comes to how hackers hack them, because that would simplify the life of the hackers. So this was a long process of first identifying the bug, then making it reproducible, and then fix it. And the fix was 3 lines of code, so that was not the issue. It was finding it. And this is truly about the metrics of open, not of openness, but of adoption. I mean, the number of users of Wikipedia is huge, and they're relying on MariaDB, and that's a sense of pride for us. And this was one of the key experiences of last year. I don't know exactly how it relates to your question about how we create adoption, but that's an example of something we devoted a lot of energy to last year.